Welcome to MWR Life on Air. I'm your host, Tara Goodson. With the arrival of summer comes family cookouts, camping, swimming, and other outdoor activities. This week's episode is focused on how you can stay safe while enjoying these summer months. Our guests today include Fort Campbell's Assistant Fire Chief, Joe Baker, and the manager of the Installation Safety Office, Michael Johnson. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
With literally tons of vehicles on Air Assault Auto's You Buy, You Sell page, it's easy to find the one that suits you and your family best. Whether it be a sleek motorcycle or a comfortable family SUV, you can find it all on the website. Just go to FortCampbellMWR.com, click on the You Buy, You Sell lot link to learn more, and see pictures of current vehicles for sale. Stop by Air Assault Auto today to sell your vehicle, boat, camper, trailer, or motorcycle. MWR, serving soldiers, families, retirees, and civilians.
Welcome back. There are certain fire concerns that we must think about during summer months. To start off our summer safety episode, we have Joe Baker. Welcome back to the show, Joe.
Well, thank you, Tara. I appreciate you inviting me back.
Well, fire safety is a big concern this time of year, isn't it?
Yes, it is. We're getting into the summer months. The weather's drier, nicer outside, and we just got to be careful of what we do. Barbecues, open pit fires, fireworks, and discarding the smoking material. That's another big issue.
Now, there's nothing better than a grilled hot dog. And so why don't we talk a little bit about grilling this summer versus propane grilling this summer? Because there are some big safety concerns with that, right?
Yes, there is. Grilling is a big thing during the summertime. We have charcoal grills and you have propane grills. Both of them are safe alternatives to cooking outside. Charcoal grills, we know we light with charcoal and we use a match and it has a open flame that we create. Propane grills is from a propane cylinder. Just make sure your grills are always 10 foot away from the structure and away from combustible materials. Things that would burn like leaves, paper. Make sure they're not under a awning like your porch and make sure they're off the deck. We always put a 36-inch kid-free zone around all grills. Make sure they're always attended by an adult who has usually not been drinking. Storage grills. If you're going to put your grill back in the garage after using it, make sure the charcoal grill is completely extinguished. Fill it full of water, and if you can touch the coals with your hands, that means it's completely extinguished. The propane grill, turn the gas off, and you can disconnect the hose from the propane tank if you feel like it, and then as long as the grill is cooled down itself, you could store it inside the garage. Do not cook or use the grills inside the garage. Besides a fire hazard, we will also have a carbon monoxide hazard inside the house if you do that.
And all those are huge safety concerns. It's something that you did point out. I know that I've oftentimes put a cover back over my propane grill while it was still too hot, and it melted it and completely ruined not only the cover but the grill. So only for the safety hazards, you have your additional costs.
Right, exactly. And those covers are expensive too. Always make sure it's cool to the touch. If you could touch it, then you could put anything on top of it.
What about fire pits? Because I know that's really popular, either toasting the marshmallows or cooking a hot dog over one of the, they're decorative and you can use them to do that stuff. We see a lot of those. What are some hazards with that?
Oh, same thing. Just consider it a barbecue grill but lower to the ground. Most people, when they have the fire pit, they buy wood and use wood in it. Do not ever use gasoline to start it. You, just like you would a campfire, build yourself a little wood pyramid with paper and stuff like that. We allow manufactured burn pits on Fort Campbell in the residents in their backyards and stuff. The ones you buy at the PX, they have covers on them. They're safe alternative to actually having an open pit fire. Again, 36-inch child-free zone around the pit itself. Extinguish it. Just treat it just like a barbecue pit, but it's lower to the ground. Don't throw papers in there. You could take the lid off to go ahead and do your s'mores and marshmallows and hot dogs and stuff like that. But you can use them.
Okay, that's great because summertime is not the same without barbecue, and we just want everybody to be safe. Speaking of summertime and our big 4th of July celebration coming up, fireworks galore. We're already seeing stands go up in the community. So why don't you tell us a little bit about fireworks safety here on Fort Campbell?
Right. Fireworks are not authorized on Fort Campbell except for a public display. And what that means is the fireworks demonstration the MWR has on the 4th of July is the only authorized public display of fireworks. No firework is a safe firework. Sparklers are bad. Smoke bombs are bad. If you are in an area that you're allowed to use fireworks off Fort Campbell, safety concerns is allowing children to use this stuff. Sparklers burn at approximately 12,000 degrees Fahrenheit. A lot of the burn injuries that go into the ERs are by kids and sparklers. Bottle rockets, same thing. Kids shouldn't be playing with bottle rockets, especially being dry outside. Bottle rockets will cause fires also. Don't let the children light the fireworks. Have an adult, preferably not intoxicated, with good lighting, light the fireworks. Make sure they have a clear path to be able to run from that firework is after they light it.
And you've mentioned a couple of times to make sure that whoever is in charge of fire, whether it's the fireworks or grilling, whatever the case may be, that they're sober. And that's
Yes.
something that's a big concern. A lot of injuries occur because somebody that's intoxicated does light fireworks or does barbecue and things like that. I know from personal experience, my daughters, not that they were intoxicated, but sparklers. You think every kid loves sparklers. And they both have burn marks on their fingers because no matter how many times you say, don't touch it, it's hot, don't touch it, it's hot, they'll still touch it.
Right.
And so they do need to be supervised carefully, children especially. A big thing that we see with fireworks locally is something that I like to bring up is pet safety. We have a lot of pets that run away because they get anxious with the fireworks.
Yeah.
And so that's something to bring up too.
Pets will get scared, and also you might have a tendency for a pet to go after that fireworks. That's the dangerous part of it, is if they see that firework land somewhere, they might go pick it up and try to grab it with their teeth. Or a dud or a firework that did not go off, you always have that chance of that pet trying to play with that fireworks. Leave duds alone. If the fireworks doesn't go off, do not touch it. Leave it alone, let it set. There might be a delay on it actually going off. Don't try to relight fireworks. That's also dangerous.
So once the fuse is gone, just leave it alone whether it exploded or not.
Yes, leave it alone whether it exploded or not. You could go ahead, after a while, you can throw it in a bucket of water to get it wet and then dispose of it that way. What I've always done when I've done fireworks at my house is always put all fireworks in a 5-gallon bucket of water once they were done. And I've collected them and just let them sit there overnight. It's not doing anything as long as they're soaking in the water. And then you can dispose of them safely.
And that's a great safety tip. That's probably the easiest one for people to have. Just have a paint bucket full of water and throw the leftovers in there once everything's cleaned up. All right, what else would you like to tell us about summer safety?
Let's keep the kids entertained for the summer. Kids are out of school. Kids start getting mischief, and we start getting these curiosity fire setters. They're out in the yard, they grab a lighter from the house, and next thing you know, they're setting paper on fire. Keep them entertained. If we keep them entertained, do things with them, we won't have that. Put your materials up, your lighters, your matches. Put them up high where they can't get it. And make it a good program that if they do find it and bring it to their parent or an adult, that you reward them. Tell them what a good job they did. If we tell kids no, it makes the curiosity worse. If they bring it to us and say, oh, what a great job you did by bringing this to me, then explain to them the safety features, why we do this, why we put them up, and they'll understand. Kids understand a lot more than we think they do.
Oh, definitely.
But if we keep them busy, then idle hands will not start fires.
And that's a great tip. Kids do comprehend a lot more than we give them credit for. And that curiosity, you never know what's going to happen. And we do have a history of fires being set by adolescents here on Fort Campbell because of boredom or unsupervised. And so that's a great thing to point out. If
we have an issue that we do have a child starting fire, Fort Campbell Fire Department does have a juvenile fire setter program. We're trained to deal with the children and to get them the correct help that they need. A lot of times it doesn't go beyond the education. That's all we have to do with the children is educate them. They're not doing it because they're just mad. They're just doing it because haven't been educated. If it goes beyond the education, then we work with the hospital and social workers to get them the correct help they need. This program we've had this program since 2010. The schools recognize it, the law enforcement recognizes it, and it's been used a lot on the installation.
That's fantastic. And one last word about setting fire to, say, like if you have some training manuals left over and stuff like that, people think setting fire to them is the correct way of disposing of them. Is that the right thing to do?
No, it is not correct way to do it. There is no authorized burning of classified materials or training manuals on Fort Campbell. You need to run them through the shredder, or you make an appointment with the security office, and they have a commercial shredder behind the hospital on Indiana Avenue, and they'll meet you over there to shred the documents. Paper is highly flammable. If the paper starts to burn and gets up in the wind could carry the paper quite a bit of distance while it's still in an ember state and catch ground on fire or anything else on fire also. We find a lot of unauthorized burning barrels on the installation and into education. It's not getting passed down to the soldiers because in the old days, that's the way we did it. We burnt everything. We'd get barrels, trash cans out there, and we'd set it on fire and burn it all. Nowadays, you can't do that. Environmental issues, fire safety issues. So we shred the stuff, throw it in the trash can, and that's the correct way to dispose of it.
All right. Well, thank you for coming out and speaking with me today and our viewers today about fire safety, something that should be in the front of everybody's mind. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
All right. Stay tuned. After the break, we'll have a visit from Michael Johnson from the Installation Safety Office.